Let's go.
Mic check, here we go. It's the Kid Plot coming out your stereo. I know they hear me because I'm in every
So here we are sitting with 6'7", 305 pound, making everyone look small, large, and in charge. Aaron Reed. Holy shit. Look at that gun show. Also, you're an author, man. You had wrote The Supernatural Lifestyle.
Yes, I did. That's the foundation for all of my fitness success. That's how I eat. When I came up with my principles, I said, eat whole foods, don't mix your sugars and fats, time your nutrients. And I live by that. That's how I do it.
That is your 3 rules. I've seen that over and over again with great success. That's pretty damn cool, man. That's pretty awesome. Yeah, I want to let's dive into your childhood. And I'm going to touch on little bits that I think I know because I've seen some of your videos. And when you were young, you had leukemia, man, and I don't know at what age that was. I watched a video where you had said that. I think it was actually Kat that maybe interviewed you for a Super League video. And man, I got to tell you, I'm not going to lie, that I had some tears, and I'm going to say because of that's what you said, but also because you talked about your dad and how that actually drove you to be the driving force that you are, because you recognized he had talent, but yet he decided to hit the bottle. So I'm going to let you tell that story, but I want to go back to, let's start at your childhood being diagnosed with leukemia. Share that with us, Aaron.
Okay, so 4 years old, I got diagnosed with leukemia. At that point, I don't know what that is. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I remember a lot of trips to the hospital and to the doctors and blood work and always getting stabbed with needles and all kind of stuff. I hated it, you know. And, it was a real drag, but when you're that young, that's just kind of, this is kind of how life is. You think, oh, this is just how life is, you know, and you don't really know why you're, doing the things you're doing, and you're not able to go outside and play with your friends and do the stuff they're doing, but you want to, kind of thing. And, I tell people all the time, like, there was a few things that were very impactful, growing up, going through that, but it was really like kind of the aftermath that really changed my mentality the most, because people treat you like a weak little sick kid when they find out something like that. And in my family, I come from like a family of athletes. Everybody's very dominant, very aggressive. And it was almost kind of like everyone in the family was like, what's wrong with you? And it felt horrible. So, for me, all I wanted to be was a strong and looked at as strong and treated like everyone else. So, I think, like my older brother was an athlete and I got to be the smart one. And that sucked. Yeah, I just wanted to be the athlete. I wanted to be cool, I wanted to be cool, but it didn't go that way for a long time. And I was always looking for that physical thing that I was going to be good at, because my older brother was like good at everything. And we were very competitive, 2 years apart. And when I was 12 years old, I got introduced to the gym by my childhood mentor, still like an older brother to me today, still very close to me today. His name is Gus Hankey. God bless that guy. He's like a brother to me. He took me to the gym when I was 12, and he was getting ready to go play college ball. So he just graduated high school, and he was getting ready to leave. He would say, yeah, come in and spot me, sort of thing. And I would spot him for like a couple of days. I'm like, when do I get to lift some weights? What's that gonna happen, Oh, okay, all right. Well, he was doing deadlifts with like 295, and I was like, I think I can pick that up, And he was like, oh, you think so? I said, yeah. He said, go ahead and try. So like I remembered this like very clearly. I was like, hold on. I grabbed the 2.5s and I put 2.5s on there. He's like, what are you doing? And I'm like, I'm gonna pick this up. I'm gonna say that I deadlifted 300 pounds when I was 12 years old. That's and he was like, whatever, and then I did it. And he was just like, oh my God. I'm like, all right, you show me how to work out or what, man? And then I started doing, like bench squat and deadlift with him. And I got where I could bench press 115 pounds, when I was 12. And, I was pretty proud of that. And I ran home and asked my older brother. And I was like, yeah. Bench press 115 pounds, deadlift 300 pounds. What can you do? He was like, oh, I can do about that. I was like, liar, liar. Oh moment. I knew that's what I was good at. So I'm like, this is what I'm gonna do the rest of my life. I'm good at working out. And so that was it.
Liar.
Yeah.
So Aaron, when you were 12 and you did that and you challenged your brother, how old was your brother? He's older than you?
2 years older than me, 22 months,
Yeah, so he was 14, you were 12, and you were whooping his ass already. So
I'm the athletic one now. You get to be the smart
Well,
one.
yeah, that's how it felt. I was like, yeah, I was telling him, but yeah, that's right, I'm stronger than my older brother. Well, then he started going to the gym, and then like a few weeks later, he got like 115 on his bench press. So yeah, I hit 115 today. So it's about time. I said, it's about time I've been doing that. I'm moving on. All right, I'm moving on to the next number here.
catch us up. So at 12 years old, what was your size and weight? Like how tall were you at 12 and your weight? Do you remember?
I remember people saying like I was kind of a big kid, but I don't remember, man. I don't remember, but I remember people would say, you're a big kid, you have big knees and I have big ears, and they're like, you're gonna be a big guy.
You're like what are those huge dogs? They just have those big, huge paws, and they look all like wrong to the paws.
Yeah, that was me.
Oh, Great Dane.
That was pretty much me. Everyone was like, you're gonna be huge. I hope so, because this younger shit sucks.
Everything big, Aaron?
What's up? Oh yeah.
I know you're safe asking that because I watched the Super League live on the story and I saw him working out. They had him doing some work and then smooching his woman. So I know she's there somewhere.
Awesome,
yeah, she's here.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's awesome. So that's where you're at 12 years old. Keep on going. This gets intriguing.
Okay, so about that time, I actually had a relapse with my leukemia, okay? Because that's a pretty normal thing. You can have a relapse, but usually when you have it, it's kind of bad news, And at that point, back in the day, things were very different. Everything was very experimental with the stuff they were doing. A lot of kids were dying from it, And I had a relapse, and they did some tests. They cut out a lymph node on my neck and my head, and they didn't even medicate me. They were like, oh, they told my mom to show them a good time. Like,
oh shit.
Probably gonna be it, and prayers from friends and family in church. Next thing you know, man, I go into the doctor's office one day, and I'll never forget, the guy was looking at the chart the entire time he walked into the room. He walked in the room here, sat down, and they started talking. he never looked up, and he was like, it says here it's gone, And my mom was like, it's gone, like it's a remission, or it's like it's gone, like, like it's gone. He was like, there's no trace of it, And my mom was like, praise God, grab your stuff, we're out of here. And then that was it. That was it, And that's the last I had any issues with that, And I felt like at the time, my working out had something to do with it. I felt like stronger and being in the gym. That's why I'm good. I felt like that was part of it,
Man, that is solid. And I think a lot of people are going to learn from that. What you just said, you found something that challenged you and entertained you, but it also made you healthier, whether you were knowing it or not. I think that is a huge thing. And the reason you beat that is because you just got stronger and stronger from the inside out, right?
Well, I think it's a mentality, but I definitely got to give praise to God on this one because, it's like a miracle, but I feel like my mindset was in the right spot and it forced me to continue to lean that way into weights, and I never let go of it. I kept thinking okay, I want to be like Arnold Schwarzenegger one day,
I tell you what, you're a lot larger. I love Arnold, but you're a lot larger than Arnold. I think you got to beat. Okay, bro. So one thing that I really admire about you too is you take upon yourself to help the tall, skinny people of the world. I think I'm in that realm. I'm going to say that. I'm only 6'2". I look really small beside you, goddamn it. But I've always had these 36-inch inseam, 36 to 38-inch inseam. So I got these long, skinny, goddamn legs.
Yeah, you do. So, that's how long my legs are. My legs are that long. I'm 6'7", bro.
Yeah, so I have a shorter torso and a really long set of legs. So I've always been the chicken leg guy. I got no calves, but I always believed in the squatting and doing that kind of stuff. So tell me, but I really can appreciate how you take on people. I like how you say 6'3" and above. I'm here. I got your back. I'm going to cover you all day long.
Yeah. Because, nobody's really doing it. And here's the thing. It's such a funny thing. Like being a big guy in the world is awesome. being a big guy and like bodybuilding, like being tall, it's like, oh, we don't expect nothing out of him. Like, you know, just get him off stage. You know, like they literally, like, as soon as they see that you're tall, it's kind of like, yeah, but, and so there's a lot to overcome, you know, and so it's just one of my goals to, you know, help bodybuilding get taller and help these tall guys fill out and then become the force that I know they can be, you know?
Yeah, you got a niche market, and that's very admirable that you have this.
Yeah.
I mean, because you know, because it's like everyone's like, oh, bodybuilding will never be like that. It'll never be like this. And it's like Arnold says, well, if it's never been done before, then I'll be the first one to do it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
That's awesome, man. And I don't think anyone questions you when you whip the pants down and they see your quad sweep and you could fucking break their neck with your quads.
No one will question you when you whip the pants down and see your quad sweep. Oh.
I'm just speaking it the way it is. I got to tell you, I watched all your videos, and when I got there in September to watch you in SL2, holy fuck, you were like larger than even the film, like even than you see on camera. Yeah, that's what. And then you came down the ramp and you did your entrance, and it was the and the cross arms. And it was like I felt the wind when you walked by me, like the power. Yeah. And then you high-fived Jay. Jay was there, and you high-fived Jay, and I thought you were going to spin him around. You hit him so hard. Like, I mean, the power that you brought into that ring was like.
Should have grabbed him and given him a dip.
I was feeling it, man. I was feeling it. I was on. I'm like, man, this some heavy shit. Let's go.
And here's what.
Gonna go there, man.
Ramping me up right now.
Yeah.
Are you ready?
Let's go. Let's go.
And here's what's super cool.
Not ready.
I'm so tired right now. I was just sleeping on the couch just like 20 minutes ago.
Well, here's what's super cool. You and Tehran would be a great team because he is just saying he's not that guy that yells and screams. He loves people doing it for him, but he has to stay in his. And I'm more like you, is like yell and scream and amp yourself up, and I love that shit. That's awesome.
Yeah, it's just something when you kind of you shout. I don't know. Somehow I get a better connection to the rest of me.
Yeah.
So
feel your well, I mean, there's a lot going on, so whatever you need to do to get a connection to the rest of you, you got to do it.
Yeah, I totally agree.
Aaron, I'm so curious, and I only want you to talk about it how you feel comfortable talking about it. When you talked about your dad, you gave him you had a lot of you were humble towards it, and I really admired you for that. You didn't throw him under the bus. You didn't say that he disappointed you. What you said was, he had all this talent. You recognized talent in him at a young age, but he chose a different path with alcohol and booze. And that helped to drive you in the opposite direction. Say, fuck that. If I have half the talent of him, I'm going to mount myself on. Dude, where did that come from? And I admire that. I want to hear that story.
I think for me, you know, you gotta realize, like, I just started in a deficit in the family. Like, I started, like, no one ever thought I was going to do shit. You know what I mean? Like, physically, you know, and so I just started working so hard. And then once I realized I was working so hard and these things weren't really coming to me, like, I didn't feel like it was coming as fast as I wanted, and I had to work harder to be able to run a 4.840, you know, which is, you know, not phenomenal, you know, whatever. But then I had to work hard to be able to make sure I could, you know, dribble the basketball and whatnot. It felt like these things came harder to me. I worked so hard, and then I started thinking about how my, you know, pops just kind of had it all, you know. And I thought, man, if I could just have a little bit of that, you know, just a little bit, like, I wouldn't waste any of it, and I would just run with it, you know. So, you know, I think when I grew up, you know, thinking my dad was larger than life, and, you know, time and time again, I would see him, like, he loved to show you can do something and then stop. So it wasn't that he was afraid of failure because he could do it, but I believe that he is afraid of success because the responsibility of being able to constantly deliver, I think, was too much for him for whatever reason. You know? So I just always felt like, even if I'm not that good, I'll do it. Like, I'll do it, you know? And so I've always had this mentality, like, I'll do it. I'll jump on any opportunity I can. I'll go as hard as I can. And that's just, you know, me and my pop talk now, and he'll say things like, you know, he'll say, you know, I'm really proud of you because, you know, everything came to you so hard. you didn't come easily. You know, he's like, me, he was like, I kind of pissed it off, you know, and we talk about it, you know. And I said, well, you know, we're here now, and I wouldn't change a thing. So, you know, I just hope you stick around long enough to see me do some really cool shit, you know.
Damn. Bro, that's a heartstring jerker. I mean, I saw the video, but I appreciate you going into that depth, and that is a wow moment right fucking there. And I appreciate you sharing that.
Yeah, you know, I mean, we all got our motivation comes from different things. Like I remember when I was really young, like my dad's 6'5", like 300-pound dude, you know. So that's a big guy, period. But when you're a little kid, that's like, my dad's a superhero. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like my dad will beat up your dad. You know?
Yeah.
I remember those talks in the schoolyard, you know. But I remember he said, I remember seeing Arnold Schwarzenegger when I was like 8 or 9. I seen him in Conan the Destroyer, which later on Conan the Barbarian became my favorite movie. But I seen him in Conan the Destroyer. If you guys remember, Arnold Schwarzenegger in Conan the Destroyer was like Olympia ready.
Yeah.
Like he looked amazing in that movie. I mean, like I'm talking, he was shredded. Shredded. He was big, you know. And I remember telling my dad, I'm like, man, like, Dad, he's a big guy, you know. And my dad's like, no, son, that's 7-time Mr. Olympia Arnold Schwarzenegger. He's huge. Okay, that's what I want to be. I'm like, if you're saying he's huge, he must be like this monster, you know what I mean? And so it was very important as a kid, you know.
No,
Huge.
Oh, shit.
You know. So.
You know, you talk a lot about that, Aaron, too, about turning those struggles into strengths. And I mean, you're a really big advocate for that, and that goes a long ways. Like you say that quite often in different ways, but that's the bottom line, right? Yeah.
Well, you know, I have a very small circle of people that I associate with and hang out with because, you know, there's not a lot of people that will do whatever it takes to reach their goal, you know. And if you have that mindset, then we're alike. And then I don't care what it is. I really don't care what it is. I don't care if it's like getting good grades in school and being the smartest scientist or whatever. Like if you're that way, like we can get along because I couldn't imagine, you know, when I was a kid, you know, I spent so much time, I think it comes back from me being a kid. I spent so much time being in the hospital and watching like other kids playing outside, and like I wasn't able to do it. You know what I mean? Like I just want to go out there. I got all these tubes in me and stuff, and you know, and bald and fat, and you know, like tired. You know, and I just remember thinking, like, if I know I can do it. I know I can do that. I know I can do this. You know, and it's like so. First chance I kind of got, it's like I just want to do everything, and so I don't understand when people don't want to do more. I don't get it. You know. So, I wish I could say the right thing to them and they would wrap their mind around the fact that, you know, you're going to die. You're going to die. Like you ain't getting out of this alive. Like just in case you didn't know. And, you know, and what do you want to do? You want to be an old man? You go, man, I totally didn't take any risks. And now I'm just trying not to die. Or do you want to be like, you know what? When I was younger, man, I did some crazy shit. And I'm so glad I did. Because you know what, I'm still here and I'm still gonna die either way anyway. You know, so you know it's kind of that. You know what I mean? But guess what? Aaron Reed is gonna leave a mark, and he's gonna leave a fucking legacy. I'll tell you that, and a large one at that, brother. That's the plan. You know, like I think I love to listen to like motivational speeches, and I love to listen to, you know, Arnold Schwarzenegger is my guy on for so many reasons because, you know. He's a guy that's self-made, you know, and everything he set his mind to, he did it really well. And you know, I remember did you ever see that video where he was becoming governor? I think it was his first speech as governor or whatever. Someone threw an egg at him. Did you guys see that?
No, I didn't.
Yeah, that was great. So he's walking through the crowd and stuff, and then boom, got hit with an egg. And he was like, takes his jacket off, keeps walking, goes up on the podium, does his whole speech, and goes, thanks a lot. All right, you guys have a great day. He goes to leave, and the reporter was like, wow, wait a minute. Are you going to say anything about the egg that somebody threw at you? Well, you know, I wasn't, but now that you bring it up, like, where's the bacon? All right? you can have eggs without bacon. So, why don't you throw that too? And I remember thinking to myself, like, this guy just does not care. Like, he does not care what you think. He's going to do what he wants to do. And I think there's something to be learned there,
Yeah, he definitely didn't let that break his stride, did he? That's pretty nonchalant and cool just to flip the code up.
Gotta find the video. It's awesome because the whole speech goes, and then they ask him when he gets ready to leave. He's like, "Well, it's funny. I just thought, Arnold Schwarzenegger, good job, buddy. Good for you."
That's awesome, Aaron. And in your natural lifestyle book you wrote, and your three big beliefs that you hit home all the time. When did you unfold that? And I know that doesn't only work for you as a 6'7" guy. Every aspect of it makes sense. When did you really hit that home? Experiment on yourself, because I know that's what you did.
Yeah.
It wasn't about anybody else. But when did that really hit home for you?
Okay, so I love bodybuilding, but I got to a point where I felt like I wanted to get more out of my physique than what bodybuilding had to offer, because years ago when I started bodybuilding, you didn't do it to be cool on social media. You did it because you did it for the glory, so you could be like, have a title, and that's who I am. Like I was 19, the very first competition I ever competed in, I won the Team Colorado Bodybuilding Championship, and I had reached out to a couple people to show me the poses and what I needed to do and coach me up so I could go do this, and I won, and I loved being like Mr. Team Colorado, Came back, what's your name? Aaron Reed, Mr. Team Colorado, I loved it. This is before like internet or anything, like the internet was out, but I don't think they had search engines yet. I don't think Google even came out yet at that point. But wait, where was I going with this? Where were we going?
Your three fundamentals.
Okay, so I wanted to get more out of it. So eventually I got into wrestling. I lived in Colorado 7 years. I was Team Colorado, so I lived there 7 years. And I remember I was in the gym, and I was feeling like I was my best ever. I finally got my weight to like 300 pounds. And it wasn't as hard as I am now, but I was happy that I broke that barrier. most men, we want to hit that 300-pound mark, And I took my shirt off in the middle of the gym, and nobody was in there. It was like 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock. And I remember being like, I'm not going to get anywhere being a big guy here in this town, so I got to get out of here, So I like up and left. So I was like, okay, I'm going to go be a pro wrestler. And I think if I'm going to do that, I'll meet somebody in Las Vegas to make that happen, because I can't afford California. So that's what I'll do. So I took like $232 in my pocket, left everything, put clothes in my car, and I just did a blanket and a pillow, and I dove out to Las Vegas. And, the goal was to become a wrestler. And I did a lot of cool things while I was here. And then 2.5 years later, I got my contract to wrestle at the WWE. And I was stoked. I was so excited. Like I wanted it so bad, and it totally worked out. I remember I went backstage with Rick Bassman. He got John Cena his contract. So I went backstage at the Staples Center with Rick Bassman, and I seen John Laurinaitis and Dave Bautista, who's now a friend of mine, okay? Which is pretty crazy, right? Because
Hell yeah.
I don't know if he knows this, but like I was in line to meet this guy for like 45 minutes at the Olympia in like 2006. I'm like, it's crazy. So anyway, I got the contract to wrestle, so I did that. Everything was going good. While I was wrestling, they drug test in the WWE, whether you guys know that or not. They didn't used to, but they do now, and so nutrition became very important, how you going to be in great shape, you know what I mean, and look at TV. So I really started working hard on learning nutrition to be in good shape all the time,
Yeah.
and whatnot. And right before Christmas, I was in a battle royal match. I took a fall, some guys tore my ACL. So it was actually a bad situation, but it was the best situation it could be in wrestling, because it happened in the ring in a match, so they cover it and pay for it, which is good. But they did a bunch of tests on me, and they found out that I had a strain of hepatitis that I got from blood transfusions when I was a kid.
Okay.
Because blood transfusions, there was no test for hepatitis. They didn't know it was a thing.
Yeah.
So I'm like, well, what does that mean? Like, what's going to happen? You know, I totally freaked out, you know what I mean? And I'm like, great. I tried my whole life. I worked to like not be treated differently because of having cancer and whatnot as a kid. And like, now I'm back in the same spot, you know? So then I researched it like crazy and found out that two things. Number one, the version that I had is curable with a 6-month chemo that I didn't want to do. Then the other thing I found out was there are some people that will kick out hepatitis by being healthy with their nutrition and whatnot. So now I'm released from wrestling and tore my ACL, and I apparently didn't have my health, you know, and lost my dream job, and I'm like, rock bottom, man. And you know, I prayed and was like, I just want to have something that's I can rely on that's not my physique for the first time in my life, you know, because this feels bad, it hurts, you know? Yeah. And so a couple months later, I took the money I got from wrestling. They gave me like a release check, my release. And then I bought all these books, about like 15, 20 books, and I read them all. And then I started Googling stuff. And I thought, well, I'm just going to get in awesome shape and I'm going to beat this thing, you know? And I studied nutrition so passionately, I just became like a sponge. And so I learned very quickly. I could start answering questions, you know, and, you know, I went to the doctor and I was going to try to do the chemo, and I said, but let's test me and see what happened. And, you know, I'm not going to win the Nobel Prize for curing, you know, hepatitis, you know, but she was like, you have like perfect health. And she gave me a couple doses of the chemo, and I started feeling really sick. And so I was like, I don't want to do it. Like, I didn't know there was anything wrong with me until I met you. So like, it's not a contagious thing. And apparently it's one of those things insurance likes to use, so they can't insure you, or they call it a blood disease and whatnot. So at the end of the day, it's like people aren't dying from it. And if they have a cure for it, like, I'm not too worried about it, kind of thing, you know?
Yeah.
So I just focused on nutrition a whole lot, and I thought, I'll just keep it healthy. You know what I mean? And I really buckled down and, you know, got in amazing shape. And then I realized that getting amazing health also would lead me to be in amazing shape, you know? And so, you know, I started competing, you know, as a natural athlete in the NPC, you know, which like, that's like pretty much unheard of because, you know, anything kind of goes, and that's fine. You know? But I started having a little bit of success, and then I knew what was in my book was real, because I did 3 competitions in 3 weeks. I did the Mr. Gainesville competition in 2010. That's a real place, right?
Are you the mayor?
Yeah. And I won that whole thing. I won the overall. Won the whole thing, man. Came out, won the whole thing. I'm Mr. Gainesville 2010.
Nice.
Yeah. So this is the first time I won an overall in a bodybuilding competition. So then a week later, I did the Florida State. And when I did the Florida State, I won the super heavy class, which was good because I'd already bought my ticket to go to Junior USA's, so I needed to qualify. So I'm that guy. I'm like 100% committed. Like when I do something, I'm just like, yep, I'm doing it. You know,
Yeah.
like.
Oh yeah, you are.
Yeah. And I went to Junior USA's and I pulled at 9th. So I did 3 shows in 3 weeks. And then after that, like I was like, yeah, that's right. Supernatural lifestyle is a real thing, motherfucker. What's up? You know?
On my book.
Yeah. You know?
Well, holy shit! I had no idea that was the force behind your 3 concepts.
Yeah,
And I think you should be awarded a Nobel Peace Prize for the cure of that, because I think it does have something that's pretty goddamn amazing.
Thanks, man.
Wow, shit. Another thing, Aaron, that, man, I love when you say this, and you say this with conviction, but yet a shit ton of passion. When you say that, you would almost guarantee, and I'm agreeing with you on this, a good percentage of people that are making it in the bodybuilding industry or powerlifting or super league for that matter. And that's what I'm the most curious about. But you say you just about guarantee they came from some kind of deep rooted insecurity that drove them. And I want to hear your take on that. I want that recorded, because that is, I believe in that 100%.
Okay. All right. Well,
take some Everclear there, get some vodka.
Here we go. Okay. So I look at it like this. Okay. The fitness industry is a very vain, obviously, industry. It's a sport, whatever, organizations, more of an exhibition than it's a sport. I've been a bodybuilder forever, but I always felt like it's an exhibition, not a sport, because you can't really, the judge says whether you look good or not. Doesn't really, there's not calculated numbers.
Yep.
Which is awesome. So you have to just look good, okay? And what would drive a person to care so much about how they look? I mean, think about it, man. Like you have to be almost OCD, and it has to come from somewhere to have this inner drive to starve yourself or eat stuff you don't want to eat and train like you don't want to train and maybe not sleep enough and spend all your money, trying to, win a trophy, for the glory, you know what I mean? And it's like, what really, where does that come from? And I personally believe that it comes from a deep-rooted insecurity, because typically what happens is people will overcompensate, because if you take somebody that doesn't have that, they are not going to reach their full potential. You take somebody with that insecurity, they will go above and beyond, okay? They will make you go, wow, never would have thought. Because, I know for me, I can speak from experience that, like, I hated being treated like a weak kid. Hated it. I hated how everybody would be like, find out that I had cancer as a kid and be like, oh, are you okay? It's like, good. And it would frustrate me. And I remember when I was like 12, I think I was 12 years old, I told my mom, because she would tell people, my son had leukemia and stuff. And I told her later, I said, you can't talk about it anymore. I'm over it. I'm tired of people treating me differently because of something that I can't control. They don't need to know that shit, Like, why do they need to know that? So to me, I just want to hide this thing. And that's where my insecurity came from, because I just wanted to be the epitome of health and strength and all these things, because I knew that I could be, and I got tired of being treated like a little sick kid. So there's me. And it morphed me into this, because I never want to be that little kid that's weak and needs a helping hand. Like, I give the help, I give the support, like not the other way around. I don't like it. I don't like it when people tell me, I give the help. Yeah, I don't like it when people are like, I'm make it through. I'm like, I'm over. I know it is. I'm good.
No shit, Sherlock. I know it's gonna be fine.
Well, think about it. Like, if you look at people at their social media, it's how we kind of get a feel for everybody nowadays. Like, bless you. Sorry.
Bless you, kid.
Typically, like, people are kind of one way or the other. There's the people that are always positive, always paint a picture about this beautiful life, and then there's people that kind of like throw out whatever emotion they have going on. And it could be like, oh, I'm sick, I'm not feeling good, another bad day. People are like, oh, I hope you feel better. And it's like, I don't want to put that out there, because I don't want people to say like, oh, I hope you're feeling better. Like, I don't like it. I don't like it. I'd rather just hide and keep all that shit to myself, and be the one helping everyone else. You know what I mean?
Admirable. I like that. At what point, Aaron, were you at that? I know you talk about the cancer. I know we've got through when you're 12 years old and you've overcome all this stuff. But is there one moment in your life when you were at that set of crossroads where it was like, I'm either going this way and I'm going to conquer all, or Jesus, I don't know what I have left in the tank? Like, you went through an awful lot. And I appreciate when you say, like, you had to say to Ma, quit talking about it. And I don't even want to go there anymore. Like, this is in the past. We're leaving it there. But is there any one moment that really defines you were at that crossroads and you were either going to get sucked in that black fucking hole, or you were just going to mow it down and keep going?
There was times in different like events with like sports that ring a bell, but for the most part, that was kind of it when I told her. That was kind of it. At that point, like, I was on a mission to be the baddest dude in the family. You know what I mean? Like, at that point, I was like over it. I'm like, oh, and I remember I told myself, I don't care what I have to do, what I have to take, how I have to train, what I have to eat. I'm gonna fucking get there. That's all there is to it, and that's how I live my life. So it was probably then. It was at 12, I would say.
Well, and man, that makes my next question really tough. But I had all this in my melon that I was going to ask you this, but I'm going to ask you it anyway. And you're Aaron Reed, and you go back as Aaron Reed, and you look yourself in the eye, and you say something to yourself about moving forward into the future that would drive you differently, or any other kind of angle. Would there be anything you'd go back to a younger version of you and say to yourself?
If I could go back and tell myself, I would say start studying nutrition now, because it's your foundation. You know, I would say, because I did my best back then. There wasn't social media and internet so much where you could just get information coming like a fire hose. You know, I would just see a big guy in the gym like, hey, well, how'd you get arms like that? See, strong, yeah, to get a bench press like that. You know, and I was constantly a student. You know, so I would say, if I would go back, the only thing I would say is start studying nutrition earlier, you know, because that's the only thing that was really holding me back, you know, because you can take all the shit in the world, but if you ain't eating right and train hard, you're not gonna get there, you know, and people disregard that. We all disregard that. We all think there's a magic drug out there. There's a magic workout, you know, and
Magic pill. Yeah.
nutrition's kind of like, oh yeah, you're pretty good. Everybody eats pretty good. By the way, everybody eats pretty good. You ask anybody in the gym, I eat pretty good. Okay. You know, that's a very relative term. So I would go back and I would say, you know, like I didn't know what protein was until I was a senior in high school. I didn't even know what it was. Like, I didn't even know. Like nowadays, kids grow up, you know, asking like about like, you know, testosterone and tren and masteron and stuff. And I'm like, whoa, what happened to protein? You know, it's like, whoa,
Oh shit! I want you two to put the glasses on and talk about creatine cat like you and Tara did. Like you guys did earlier today. You have to play along, Aaron. So
can you see me, Tom?
just fine.
Hi.
How about me?
I don't know.
How do I look?
You look good.
Okay.
Have you ever heard of creatine?
Creatine? What's that?
It's like stuff makes people crazy and they shoot up schools.
Oh my
They were
God.
all crazy.
I've heard about that. Now
Yeah.
that you say that. That's crazy.
Do you have a position on it?
Why would anybody take that
I don't
stuff?
know.
Jeez.
It's illegal, I think.
Who cares about muscles? You have muscles and get mean?
Yeah, you're super mean on it.
Oh man. That must be what my ex-girlfriend.
I'm not creatine!
Now you did it. Now you did it. Aaron, put a percentage on a diet. I've heard so many, you know, there is a saying where they say that's 70%, 80%, or whatever you are. What would be your magic number percentage? How important the diet is to your physique and reaching your goal?
For progress?
Yeah.
For progress, I would say it's like 75, 80%.
It's up there.
It's up there because you got to train hard. But guess what? Most of us like to train hard. You know, we like it. You know, so that's that. You know, it's the eating what you need to eat every day that we don't like. You know, yeah. So and that's like that's all day because we might be in the gym for an hour or two, maybe 3 if you're like doing a marathon or some shit. But like you know, there's what 21, 22 hours, 23 hours the rest of the day. Like, what are you doing? You know, do you have a plan for what you're eating? Because if you don't, you're never gonna get there. I don't give a shit.
Yeah.
I'd say like 75, 80%.
So and that's part of what you do in offering your plans for people is it's not a cookie cutter thing because everybody's different, right? You get to know their physique, what they're about, what their workout looks like.
Here's the thing though. Okay, here's the thing. It's not a cookie cutter, but at the end of the day, like I'm going to give you my program.
Yep.
Like in my program, you know, like when guys are like, oh, you make me a program, you know, I go to the gym 3 days a week. No, I'm not. I've never worked out 3 days a week, so I don't know how the fuck that's going to work out for you, bro. You know, So I'm going to make you a program that I have done and I have proven that works for me, okay? And we're going to put you on it, okay? And you're going to get there, all right? But you got to do what I say. So it's like, okay, there will be variables. All right, well, you do better with the sweet potato than you do with the white potato. Okay, cool. We're going to go that route. You know what I mean? Like, there's going to be little things. And when it comes to coaching, it's like I have my plan. Like, I know what I want to do with somebody kind of right away. But the coaching that comes with the tweaks along the way. Me listening to you and you're saying, I just feel like it's too much rice, or I feel like it's this or it's that. Or, all right, well, what are you doing cardio wise? Are you doing cardio? Well, yeah, but, or okay, well, my workouts are inconsistent, or, I'm getting up too late. It's like, these are all the variables from my plan where I'm like, if you'll stick to the plan the way it needs to be, you will get there, because I can't sit here and say, I'm this guru on nutrition for flexible dieting, intermittent fasting, keto, carb backloading, vegan, raw vegan. Like, I don't give a shit. I don't give a shit about all that. I really don't even care because I don't eat that way. Like, I eat my way. And if you want me to show you what I'm doing, I'm going to do that, And so you gotta fit my parameters, And so that's how I coach people. You know what I mean? Like, I refuse to try to stay in your. I refuse to try to coach everybody for everything. You know what I mean? Like, I'm really good at getting taller dudes bigger. I'm really good at that.
Well, I'll tell you what, because I admire you so much and I appreciate you taking the time on this. I'm going to lay a challenge down here right now. I'm going to, when we're done all this, I'm going to buy your plan. And you're gonna bust my balls for what do you need, do you think, to get me in rock solid? And I'm not even gonna tell you what I think. I have no fucking idea about body fat. I don't care. I think I got a decent little six pack, but I want to put on some. I'm 48 years old. You're gonna put some meat on me, solid muscle. I'm gonna give you 16.
Let me ask you a very important question.
You bet.
Do you want to do this natural, or are you willing to get there at all costs?
Oh no! I'll get there at all costs. Here it is.
You can be very clear, because at the end of the day, like, you know what I mean. There are only so many things you can work with over here, or there's a whole world of shit.
Yeah, I know about the creatine. Okay, we'll get on the creatine.
You know what I mean? Like, it's.
Here's what we're gonna do. It's like me saying thank you for your time. I'm gonna pay the fee. You're going to whoop my ass, and it's going to take as much. If you tell me it's 20 weeks, you're going to eat this way, and don't bitch out, Tom, or I'm going to come and I'm going to thump you.
Okay, how much do you weigh right now?
245.
245. And where have you ever been lean before, or no? Yes or no?
Yes, 2009. I was like at a 6% and did a show when I was 40 years old.
All that stuff, right?
Yeah.
Okay, you did. Okay, in that case, there's no reason we shouldn't be able to do it in about 3 months.
Ooh, cool. Can I add something in there, though? I have a requirement.
Yep.
I'm now part of this deal. You have to do before and after photos, and we get to post them on Super League.
Absolutely. I'm in. We're going to take this challenge. I appreciate Aaron doing it, and I'm now stoked. You're now invigorating me. So my ass is yours. Now, however that looks, whatever, we'll talk about that after when we're done all this. But I'm stoked. I'm going to take this challenge, and you're going to whoop my ass. And I'm going to be a product of the Aaron Reed for the tall guy, and we're going to whoop some ass.
Quite your ideal client because he's 1 too short. But we'll let it slide.
It's okay. It's okay. He's too tall. He's too tall.
So we can accept him into the group.
Oh, this is going to be awesome. Now I'm stoked. This is good. I want to get into the next thing. I want to talk about porous and you being over and filming that and having this great experience, man. And you're lighting up Bollywood, and I'm sure we're going to see this fella in Hollywood. And,
well, I tell you what, if you want to know about the experience, it was definitely one I'm never going to forget as long as I live. I felt incredibly blessed. I didn't think it was really going to happen because I went there for a 7-day trip to India to do Body Power Expo with the Enhanced Athlete team. Crazy Dr. Tony Huge. It was like, let's go. I said, okay. So we get there, we're doing the deal, and then this guy keeps saying, yeah, we want you to come try out for a TV show. Now, I'm in India for the first time, afraid to drink the water, afraid to eat, trash everywhere, and I'm like, okay, there's got to be somewhere nice, there's going to be some nice spots. I'm just not, seeing it, but I'm real apprehensive. I'm like, ooh, I don't know what there's going on here, So the guy keeps pressing. Before you know it, I said, okay, it's the last day. We'll go to the studio and see, if it's a real thing. And I go in there, it's like diamond in the rough, really nice place, like a 10-foot door,
Wow.
hardwood floors, like super nice, the air conditioning coming in.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It was funny because it was like, it's weird. India will be like slums, trash, junk, nice place, slums, trash, you know what I mean? It's like, whoa, like dirt road kind of thing. So, I get there and auditioned, and they initially wanted me for 3 days, and they were kind of playing like hard to get. I was negotiating. I didn't really know how to negotiate because this is one of my first, TV gigs. And so I was like, hold on a second. I need to talk with my peers here for a minute, and I'm going to come back to you with our offer, if that's cool. And they were like, yeah. And so they leave, and I'm like, all right, Tony, like, I know that they want me, okay, all right? So I'm thinking, I don't know, like, they gotta have money. This place is nice. Like, these people got money, I'm like, we think like $25,000, for come out. He's like, I don't know. I'm like, I feel like that's the number, $25,000. With you, I don't know, 15 to 20. I don't know. Are you good with that? I'm good with it, man. If I just get in there, I'm happy. I'm like, okay, all right, okay. So we come back. I'm like, all right. So then they come in, and they say, what did you discuss? I said, yeah, $25,000 for me, $20,000 for my friend here. They're like, oh, will you open to negotiate? I said, well, yeah, we're always open to negotiate. What do you got? Like, what if we do 22 for you, and 12.5, or 12.5 for him or whatever. And I'm like, I'll take 22, and Tony's like, yeah, sounds good. So we shake on it, and I'm like, wait, we're talking US dollars, right? And they're like, oh, no, we're talking rupees. And I'm like, oh my God, are you kidding me? It's like 60 to 1. It's like 60 to 1. It's like nothing. It was like nothing, I was like, I don't know, man. You guys got to throw me a big offer. I don't know what's going on. I'm going to leave. And so I left, and then they called me when we left. They called me and said, hey, we can, give you like 30,000 rupees a day or whatever, And I'm like, yeah, that sounds like a lot. How much is that? Like $500. So I was like, well, it's worth the experience. I'm not some, accomplished actor or whatever. I'm like, let's do this, And so 3 days actually turned into 12 days while we were there.
Wow. Nice.
And while I was there, they treated me really well. They catered to me, made me feel like I was a movie star. It was really cool. They were like, what would you like to eat? I'm like, I need chicken and rice, then I need some turkey, then I need this. It's hard to get those things in that area, and so we did the deal, but they did a good job, and I was able to eat the foods I needed to eat. We had a vanity trailer,
Makeup?
Yeah, and
Cool.
it said American Fighters. Nice. We had our own little spot, so we'd chill there all day. And it was time to do our scenes. We'd come out, pump up, do the deal, whatever. We played these Persian warriors. Apparently, the story of Porus. It's a really cool series. It's actually really cool. Like in India, Porus is like Game of Thrones to us.
Cool.
Yep.
It's their thing. It's like their biggest thing. On the IMDb, it got 9 out of 10 stars or whatever. So that's cool. But it's a story about Porus is this countryman. He's not a knight with the Indian army, just a countryman. He's a patriot. And when Alexander the Great came through and brought like all these Persians and whatnot to take over everything, and according to their history, like apparently Porus was a worthy adversary. And so they kind of spun off this historical person. They spun it into a whole series, and so I played this, really mean Persian guy that's killed everybody,
Imagine that.
Tony was one of the guys on my crew, and he was a badass too, and I had this big hammer, and man, we did stunts and we did wires and stuff and just all kinds of cool stuff, man. They did some CGI things. I mean, it was legit. There was like 100 people on set. There was like 6 sets that I've seen. I think there's more. I mean, this thing was huge.
How hard was it to speak the language?
Oh, man. That was one of the most things I've ever done in my life. Oh, my goodness. Like,
do you remember? Can you say any of it?
Okay, I think I got my first line down. Cobb say intizar ta. Samne Annika Kuchul Danica.
Very good.
And so I think he said something like,
I'm going to cut your balls off and make you fucking eat them.
pretty much like that was the opening line of me saying like, oh, Porus, you think you're a badass? Well, you stand for nothing, and this country is nothing. The soil you stand on is nothing. Like, this guy's like, you're beneath me. I was basically like just talking tons of shit, you know. And then I had some more lines, and he fired a couple back, and we fight it out. And then we have some more lines. We fight a little more, and then I'm whipping his ass. Like, I'm the only one whipping his ass. Like, no one in this series has ever made him bleed or nothing. And so like, I'm whipping his ass, and then at the very end, he gets me. And I'm not going to tell you how, because you gotta see the series. But it already played and everything. You know, it doesn't air over here in the United States right now, but one day it will because of copyright issues and stuff like that.
That is awesome. I did not realize that it was only going to be, well, it wasn't even going to exist. And then it was going to exist for a few days. Like, shit, man, like, you took a chance on yourself. I like how you said, like, it was about, you know, you got to get paid, but it wasn't about the money. It was about the experience. Can you imagine that on your resume now? Right?
Oh yeah. It was totally worth it, because now I have like an acting reel. I'm like, that was me. Hindi in another country. I'm swinging the hammer around, fucking shit up.
Oh, I love it.
The first day, I just have to say this, the first day we get there, we got there the night before, and we did some, like, he wanted to see how I move with some fighting. Me being in the WWE for a short time, excuse me, made me excel at this, because I was skilled already in this area with some hand-to-hand combat stuff, you know, for show. So that was good. So then the next day, you know, they set us up and like, all right, okay, Aaron, come on out. And right when I got on set, they're like, okay, you're going to stand on this, then you're going to stand on that, and then you're going to step on Tony's shoulder and jump off with your hammer on this mat. I'm like, whoa, you guys want me jumping around and shit? I'm like 310 pounds. Like, yeah, you can do it, no problem. I'm like, Tony, I hope you're ready for this, bro. I'm like, I'm about to crush you. Just get ready. Just get ready. I'm gonna step on you, man. You know. He's like, all right. And they got him standing like this, you know, holding the weapon like this, you know. I'm like, you ready? He's like, I'm ready. And so like I step on him to jump up, and I step on him. I mean, I'm talking all my weight and jump, and he like fell back like a little bit, kind of into some stuff behind him, and like I hit the mat. Thank God I didn't fall in the dirt. So I was like, okay, whoa. And I was kind of impressed with Tony, like, man, it was good, you know. And I'm thinking, but this didn't look good at all. It was horrible. It looked bad. Yeah, and the guy, and then, you know, these guys are directors, but they speak English and Hindi. Thank God. And they were like, no, Aaron, like, you just have to, like, touch and go. Just touch and go. I'm like, touch and go. Okay, man. Like, I'm 310 pounds. Forget that, bro. Like, you know, and so I did it a couple of times, and then it came out really good. And then when you see the clips, it's cool. I can send you a clip if you want to check it out.
Yeah, we all do.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I appreciated following your venture when you're over there, man, even on Instagram. It was fucking sweet shit. I really liked your day-to-day where you were heading.
This shit was so crazy, right? Like, I just had to get it out there to the world. You know, and I made a bunch of cool friends. Like, the cast of Porus, all great. They were all great. So cool. You know, we would hang out after, because we would put 12-hour days in. And these guys work like 7 days a week. Like, they work every day.
Yeah.
We put a new episode out, five a week, 5 episodes a week. So they can't get behind. So they have to just, you know. So a lot of stuff we shot, one take. Like 2, most of that. Usually 1 or 2 takes. If it was more than that, it was like, oh, somebody sucks. You know, like, hey, you know, I messed up or something. You know?
So are you heading back there for some more shooting in it too?
I honestly think they will call me for more stuff, because
they didn't kill you?
They did kill me.
They did.
So I mean, but I think I'll get called for a movie or something. Cool. Because I formed some relationships, and one of the directors, a guy named JP, he reaches out to me on WhatsApp, and I talk to him, you know, every once a week, you know. Cool. And that's because awesome. I'd love to do a movie. You know, out there.
You're gonna do a movie.
Yeah, you are. You goddamn right you are.
World.
Man, I want to do a movie in Hollywood if I really want to do, but
Aaron.
you know, I mean,
That is sweet. You're. I want to talk a little bit about 5% Nutrition, and I mean, you've been with them for. It was all. It's not like Rich found you, but I mean, there again, I've been following you forever, man, and follow that whole thing. So I mean, R.I.P. for Rich. I mean, we all wish that upon him. And then I just saw Martin just had a major operation. Holy shit, that's a blow, right?
yeah.
But that's your brotherhood, man. I want to hear you talk a little bit.
Well, here's the deal. I was never a 5%er.
Okay.
I was never an official member because me and Rich would talk, and he wanted me to be, and I was like constantly holding out for like money and more whatever. He'd be like, "Come on, man!" He'd be like, "I can give you this," and that, you know. He's so cool. Me and Rich had a great relationship, you know, and we really get along. Like he was one of those guys that like I honestly didn't think I was gonna like him when I seen him. And then I was like talking to him one time, I'm like, so wrong. I really like the guy. And I told him that. I'm like, you know, I thought you were gonna be like an asshole. I didn't think I was gonna like you, you know? And he was like, oh, thanks. You know, and so I started talking to him, and you know, he will see, he's like, because I had a different sponsor. I was sponsored by API, which is owned by Sportica, a global distributing company. Yeah. And so he's like, well, yeah, you can be sponsored by them. I just want to do video with you, man. You know, and we'll just go from there. And we formed a friendship, you know, and that's like when he came down here for the Super League and stuff, he was like, well, oh, so you're in the Super League. I'm in the Super League, but I don't know what to do. What do you think? Okay, here's where it is. Here's the times, you know. And that's when he come down here, you know, and he would talk to me a little bit about 5%, but he never really tried to push it on me. We just kind of became friends, you know. And eventually I thought, okay, we had talked, and he says, I can do this, this, and this for you, and I'll give you a push, you know. And he's like, look what I did with Martin Ford, you know. He was like, I can definitely, I can do that or more with you, you know. And he's like, I'm kind of getting tired of doing this myself, and it'd be great to kind of, you know, have you jump in. He was even talking about making my own supplement for me, my own supplement. I said, so what do you mean? Like a 5% supplement? He's like, no, like your own thing, man. Like it's your own entire supplement. I'm like, why? He's like, because you need to make some money. Like, you know. I'm like, cool, man. All right, that sounds good. So we started talking, and then it was like a week or two after that, I hit him up, and I just texted him. He's like, I'm in LA. I'm like, when you coming back? I don't know. I'm having too much fun. And then like he came back, and a week later I heard he was in a coma. And then he passed, you know, a week or two after that. And so when you know, the Super League came, I wore the 5% stuff and everything, you know, out of respect for him. And I went to the Olympia with all the guys, and they treated me like family, you know. And those guys are a really cool group because they have a sense of community that a lot of companies don't have.
Yep.
And Rich built that, and he built that because he really liked that. He really wanted to help everybody on the team do well. Like he was great for a couple things, you know, like he was one of the first bodybuilders that didn't turn pro in the IFBB that made tons of waves in the fitness industry, and tons of was so famous and so known, you know, without going that route. And so he showed other guys like, hey, you know, if you're marketable, you know, there's something there. And so I was gonna jump in with him at one point, you know, but then things didn't work out, and there's always a reason for everything. So
absolutely. And you got your own, the shirt you got on now, your lifestyle, that's you. That's Aaron Reed. That's your own. So that's something that you started and got to make them.
The Enhanced Athlete team made me these, you know.
Cool.
Yeah, while I was running around with him for, you know, you wearing the same clothes for 7 days, you know, or like we're gonna send you some stuff, you know, and they like my slogan. I'm always saying, "Gotta make them gain, son." You know, they like that, you know, and we're having a lot of fun. And so they're making these, and I can sell them on their site and whatever, and I get clothes, and things have gone a good direction. It's opened my eyes to things that I'm capable of at this point. You know, everything's in stages. You know?
Yeah. That's awesome. That's where. So about supplements, like you're all about the real food, the whole food. That's your thing. Doesn't mean you don't have a protein shake, probably.
Sure, I like protein shakes, and I like BCAAs. I like creatine, right?
Yeah.
Even though it makes you crazy. I like creatine, and I like arginine, and I like fish oils, and I like a pre-workout. And I don't like the pre-workout to have these new cocaine type drugs in them. I like caffeine, citrulline malate, beta alanine, leucine for my BCAAs, but I like these different things for stimulants because I know how my body responds. So
Have I got something for you, Aaron? How about some good old Canadian maple syrup? If you take a swig of that before you hit the gym, buddy, and your veins will explode.
Well, you know what? Like maybe post-workout, because I do post-workout sugars to cause an insulin spike that blocks cortisol, and then I start storing. So I prefer dextrose sugar, which is glucose, and it can only be transported by insulin. But then I use insulin mimetics, natural ones like cinnamon, chromium picolinate, alpha lipoic acid. There's a bunch of different things that I use. I stack them all together, and it'll make you have go hypo, you took insulin, and I'll do that with dextrose, and then I have my crucial post-workout meal an hour later, which will have carbs and protein, no fat. Just eat that till you're full, and that's one of the secrets to my success. That's literally that was the supernatural lifestyle. It's like that post-workout.
Well, and about to be part of my success and looking like fucking killer at 49. I am stoked about this.
We can do this, my friend. This will be fun.
Yes, this will be. I'm grateful. This is good.
I think that it's one of those things where once somebody's committed and then I know they're doing what they need to do, then it's easy. It's easy.
Let's rock this shit. I'm pumped. So what is the future in Super League for Aaron Reed? What's your next thing you're gonna lay the hammer down on there?
As much as I can with the Super League, I'm in 110%, I think.
One day we're going to be commentators together.
Yeah. No, we're definitely doing that.
Yeah.
That is the shit right there.
Doing that. That would be fantastic because, I just believe in the Super League because I love the aesthetic approach with the measurements. And I love the numbers. I'm lifting some heavy ass shit, It's like, what do you got? And then you got your weight factored in there,
You gonna do Power Series?
I want to do the big one, the Super League, the next big Super League we have. Because here's the deal, the Power Series, I'm not a power lifter. I'm a really strong bodybuilder, And so if you get me for 3 reps, I'm not going to. But you get me for 12 reps. Okay, now
in September.
Now we're competing.
Coming in for
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
We're repping 3D hard.
Yeah. I mean, it's I'm definitely gonna get with. I was talking to Mike O'Hearn yesterday. Been a long day today. Yesterday, and before I came here, I was working out. I want him to help me with my deadlift and a couple things. Because he was like, you deadlift like a bodybuilder. I was like, Yep, I want a bigger back, so that's why I do it. He said, well, I'd love to show you some stuff. So we'll be filming some stuff soon for that because I get my numbers up when there's somebody like
I
know.
Danny?
Pretty just lifting a house. Okay,
I know, dude. We got to get a new name for that little freak beside you there. I don't know what we're gonna call her. Look at her. Look at her quads right now. When Tehran was sitting beside her, he was like, "Fucking damn, your quads."
Ow, that tickles.
Yeah, this one right here is really impressive. But that's what you get with the Super League. We have a lot of really impressive athletes, and we're going to see more of that as things continue. And that's what I'm excited about because, at the end of the day, it's time. It's time for some superhero type shit.
Yeah.
Let's see it. Let's do it.
And I like too. You're not. You're a bodybuilder, and I mean that's where you started off. So you're not. There's nothing bashing about that, but it sounds like to me is what you're driving home is that it's time for a change and for things to kind of. You talk about culture and you talk about family and closeness and being, all in one. What Rich believed in, type of thing. This has the same kind of concept, doesn't it?
Oh yeah, it does. But this has more so many things have been offered because there's numbers, there's numbering, there's a scoring system with aesthetics and your strength. And I just think it's a beautiful combination. I think it's about time somebody did it, because we want to see superhero looking people with superhuman strength.
Yep.
Like, let's do it. And you know what? We're going to find it. We're going to get it. We're going to find it. You know, and then people are going to be like, can you believe this athlete? You know, and it's like, I love the idea of competing with IFBB pros, because this is a platform where I can compete with them. You know what I'm saying? And I have a lot of respect for a lot of IFBB pros. And so to be able to compete with them at this level is like, I want to beat them so bad. You know, and it's like, they want to beat me because they want to be, oh, I'm not a BB pro. But if you don't, it's like,
and here's the awesome thing is that, like, I could beat someone or someone can beat me, but then at the end of the day, I'm happy for them because I know how they beat me. And it was based on a number. It wasn't based on somebody passed somebody money or somebody likes someone better or whatever.
Yeah. I
can genuinely be happy for them because it wasn't anything they did other than work harder. Yeah. Or like, it's at the end of the day, my score is mine, their score is theirs.
Yeah, it feels good. It feels good.
Yeah, it's more legitimate, and then I can be genuinely happy for someone else.
Well, because, you know, I mean, you guys know Nam keeps beating me, you know, and I'm sitting here thinking, like, how can I beat this kid? You know what I mean? But at the end of the day, that's the beauty of competition, you know, because he's an elite athlete. I mean, the dude's insane strong, you know. And it's crazy though, because like I thought I'm gonna try to get my weight down a little bit. I was like 5 pounds lighter than I was the first one. I dropped like 15 pounds. I'm like, dude, like, I'm thinking, man, I gotta come down if I'm gonna be able to do it, you know. So,
how did you find Super League, or Super League find you?
A good question.
Yeah, how did that go for you?
Actually, the Hungarian Hammer is a good friend of mine.
Oh, yeah. He's a beauty. I love that guy. Yeah.
And he kept me in the loop with all kind of stuff. I knew him in Tampa when he lived in Tampa, and he was a bodybuilder and whatnot, and we would train together a little bit. And that was back when I was like 250, you know. I was just getting my book going and stuff. And he got done with bodybuilding after he did the 202 class at the Olympia. Yeah. Phenomenal. He looked phenomenal. Guy looked amazing. They got rid of the 202 class, and they have a 212 class. And I don't think he wanted to do what he had to do to go to the 212 class, because he already did it the 202 class. That was his thing, you know. And so I think at that point he was like, I kind of came there, been there, done that. And then he wanted to get into wrestling, and I had been wrestling with the WWE for a while. And he said, you know, I'm trying to get in. So I made a few phone calls. I'm like, all right, I called him. This is what you got to do. They're expecting you for this, that, and the other. And he started doing it. And so, like, me and him have been friends for a long time. You know?
That is sweet. And yeah, he's a beauty, man. When I was there at SL2 and he was a head official, he just has that caring nature about him with everyone. And I love his journey on social media too. He's back home now, isn't he, Kat? He's back.
No, he's here. He's here now. He got back home.
That's what I mean. Back there. He was back at home in Hungary, but he's back there now. Yeah. I meant Vegas home. Yeah.
You know, like, he brings a level of legitimacy, you know, with what he's doing, because he's an elite athlete competing at the Olympia.
Yeah.
And he's a really impressive dude. So it's great to have him part of this, just like it's great to have her part of this, you know.
Well, how about that techie guy sitting over there by you from to the left? He's
part of this. I'm just cranking out some code.
Well, that's important, Danny. That's important stuff, bro.
South Africa's coming. Yeah, I'm gonna start posting that and get everybody ready for that. That'd be good.
Absolutely. Who's all going there, Danny?
Oh, our man Dubs there has it under control.
Nice.
Let him represent.
That's good.
And own it. Yeah.
That's so cool. I love the idea of competing with other countries.
Yeah. Yeah, the UK's on board now too, eh? UK's on board.
Oh yeah. And Canada. Fucking Canada.
Canada's in.
Deep.
Yeah. That's cool.
Yeah.
Don't make me start singing.
Oh,
True North, strong and free, baby, all the way. Yeah. Aaron, actually, before I came to SL2, I was so impressed by the Canadian against the American thing. I got that tattooed on my left pectoral. The skull with Dude, look at this. With the skull with the Canadian flag in it. Look at
Raise
that.
up a little bit. I can't see it. Get up. Raise up a little.
Oh, I got to get the bigger.
Oh, he did.
sick.
That's cool, man. Oh, man, you're not playing.
Well, when you get me all ripped and lean and shit and just looking like a savage, that'll even look that much meaner. So I'm ready.
That's what we're going to do.
Tom, I'm stoked for you.
Kat, I am too. This is going to be fun. And it's all going to be got to make them gain, son. Hashtag to hell.
That'll be his
GMTGS.
next tattoo.
That's
Where's that gonna go on your butt cheek?
Holy shit. Well, I better let him do, I better do a serious amount of squats and get that flat ass a little bulkier. I need some meat on it. Like Aaron.
Oh, he can help you with the booty.
Yeah, he's got, yeah, Aaron does have a deadly booty. You got a sexy booty for a tall guy. God damn it.
It's a lever, my friend. That ass is, and I use it all
I
the
took a
time.
video of it earlier. I'm like, Aaron, don't move.
All I do is tuck them hips, man. That weight comes up every time. Oh, I got this, and I'm like, damn it! Why do I do that when I'm struggling? I want my quads to do it. Yeah, every time. Every time.
That is awesome. That is awesome. Aaron, you want to have a little fun? We have this little DJ sitting beside you to the left is the one who came up with this from an old talk show, and it has been a pile of fun. We had Kat and Kristen Graham and Jamie partake in it a week ago, and then Tehran, we made him do it today. This is just a little bit of question fun, and you just answer to the. Okay, I like that.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go with this one here. What profession other than your own would you like to attempt?
Acting. Does that count? Acting? Does that count?
No, you're already
You're already an actor, man. You already got that.
I'm already an actor, apparently.
Yes, you are.
Pretty good.
Bilingual actor, no less. Bilingual.
Yeah.
actor.
Bilingual. Just a little bit, you know. Like if you say this, you say Tunde Wad. That's how you say thank you in Hindi. in case you
Tunde
wonder.
Wad?
Tunde Wad.
Tunde Wad.
Wad.
Tunde Wad.
Sunday Wad.
And then if you're in Thailand, you say Kapkun Ka.
Cup, cup, cup.
And the girls say Kapkun Ka. For some reason, it's different.
Wow.
Okay, profession. God, I just don't want to do anything other than what I'm doing, man.
That is awesome. That is good. To hear.
That's it. I don't want to. You know?
Hell yeah, ideal life.
I mean, I love.
Right
what
here.
I love bodybuilding. I love like the acting thing.
You love sitting next to Kat.
Okay, all right. If this was a job, like I love inventing things. Okay, when I was okay, cool. When I was a kid, I used to say I want to be an inventor when I'm older, and I have like all these ideas. I write stuff down, and like
Well, there you,
when I have money, I'm gonna make it happen. You know what I mean? It's like
that's an awesome answer. I think that's great.
okay,
Yeah, shit, yeah.
there it is.
Yeah. We're gonna be the Imagineers.
The glasses
for
are a real thing.
Super-
The glasses are a real
They
thing.
are a real
Yeah,
thing.
we're really dorks. You know, see, I was the smart one when I was a kid, so I can't get away from that. You know?
Aaron, what would you say is your favorite word?
Favorite word?
Yeah.
Gains.
Gains.
That's what I want all the time. Gains, son.
I love that. I love. Do you have like a Z at the end of that? GAINZ, like a, or is it with an S? Because you.
What? GMTGS.
No. Got to make them gain, son. I know, but gains. When you say it with such conviction and power, like there'd be a Z at the end of it instead of.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. You just really want to put like your soul into it. You know. Say some gains, son.
Yes, that is power. Okay. What is your favorite curse word? I just love this question.
Easily, it's the F word. Easy.
Say which word?
F
Yeah.
word.
This is uncut and unedited. We fucking swear here. So what is it?
Listen here, motherfucker.
And the M or F is a different one.
Okay, well that's what it is, motherfucker. That's
Okay.
the one. It's 2 words.
Well, you owned it.
So funny.
Oh.
I probably say it so much. Sometimes I hear my girl say, she's like, "Will you say it all the time?" I laugh. It sounds funny when I hear you say it.
It's my word.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Hey, Aaron, I want to wind this up with a little bit of, you got a lot on the go. You got a lot going on. You're obviously loving what you do. That shows, man. You're a passionate fella and you're driving it home. But what is like one thing that you would attribute to finding that balance? That, well, Kat doesn't like the word balance, but I keep throwing that out there. But the one word that would keep you, your structure and your discipline, keep you centered with everything you got going on. What is the one thing is like your go-to?
Well, when I was a kid, I told you about the situation with my pops, and I actually used to pray this prayer to God all the time. And I don't really want to share that right now, but I made it with him. And I basically wanted this. And I just said if I just had it a little bit, I promise I wouldn't waste it. So I'm just doing as much as I can with what I have. And I think about that all the time.
That is awesome, man. That is awesome. And that gratitude that you just have towards that, where did that come from? Like, obviously your family has a certain level of that, or you were raised, like you said, you had church and you had your ethics and your morals and all the things going for you, but the extreme amount of gratitude. I've said this to Kat. I said this to, it's kind of like your analogy of a deep rooted insecurity that drives you people. But another thing that I'm finding in all you top stellar athletes is, fuck, you have an amazing amount of gratitude, which I think is awesome. And I think it really puts a nail in the coffin of the stigma that says, well, they're all going to be arrogant. Hey, like you thought about Rich, you saw some pictures, you saw some things and you thought like, shit, he's never going to give me the time of day. He's larger than life, man. But you were wrong.
Way wrong.
Yeah. But Aaron, I'm sitting here saying that I saw that in you from the first time I met you at SL2. You took the time to take a picture with me and many other people, and you're just humble and you got a smile on it. I want to know where that comes from.
I just wanted this so bad when I was a kid that now that I have it, I'm just happy, man.
That's awesome.
I'm going to share it and keep going. That's all.
So you wanting to be an inventor, I think you should bottle that shit and sell it. Like call it the Aaron Reed humility vial or something.
Yeah.
Just sweat on a little something and sell it.
I don't know, man, but I think we all understand that mindset is everything, and like I said before, I don't ever like to be poor me, oh, this happened to me, or this always happened. I can't live like that. Like, I would rather focus on the things I do have, the things are going well, and insights on what's next.
Shit, that's awesome. Kat, you got anything you want to hammer home with Aaron before we?
Love this dude.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah,
Hey.
homies.
Hey,
You're awesome.
Thanks.
I think one of those arms of his could wrap entirely.
Like it.
Can you,
An inappropriate butt squeeze.
Dude,
I body chopped him.
She handled it so well. I knew we were going to be friends after that.
do me a favor before Aaron leaves. Whenever you're leaving tomorrow, whatever, make him stand there straight. Take a quarter and throw a quarter at his ass, and then catch it in slow motion, bouncing off like with your phone, because that would be like bounce a quarter off his ass. That would be like, Danny, don't you agree? Wouldn't that be some great footage?
Danny's shaking his head like,
What
why
the
does
hell
Tom
are
want
you
this?
talking about?
I just wish that another body part of mine got the recognition that my glutes got, And I mean, I wish it was like, oh, your fucking arms or your shoulders. People are like, your butt, what is wrong? I fucking don't know, man.
Dude, you know what I think it is? But that's what everyone goes for. You already have like the V taper from a god. You already have the arms and shoulder. But for a 6'7" guy to have the glutes and the sweep and everything you got on those is fucking. I know.
Not just a piece of meat.
I'm not just a piece of meat.
It's just it's a lever, all right, and I probably cheat with my ass more than I should, That's why it grows. I can't get it to stop.
You must have a difficult time finding jeans. Like, can you even wear fucking jeans?
Give you a recommendation.
Yeah, well, you know what? I noticed how nicely everything tucked around his stuff,
His
and I
especially
thought,
was the focus of the event.
and I thought to myself, like, you know what? I got some stretchy jeans, and he's probably wearing stretchy jeans.
Oh, for sure.
Because you have to wear. I wear the BKEs I got from Buckle. Once I found that they stretch, I bought like 3 pair. I don't care what they cost. I'm gonna wear these every day till the day I die.
Stretchy jeans are life.
They are.
Welcome to the life of a woman.
Yeah, well, for us, like, fitness bodybuilders,
True.
it's like we're not normal, and so to get normal clothes is like you need the stretchy jeans. That's what you need.
Well, not me, Ed. You're going to work on that for me.
Yeah, we're gonna do it.
Yeah.
Tom was wearing very tight, like unflexible jeans last time I
Oh
saw him.
yeah, no, that's not good. Can't be wearing those.
Don't worry, we'll get you into some stretchy jeans.
Oh shit, this is going to be good. Okay, so Aaron, I'm going to. How's the best way to reach out to you? We don't have to do that right now, but I'm going to reach out to you, and we're going to start knocking this challenge out of the park.
Okay.
And I really like the fact that April is starting right away, so we make it like an April 1, rock and roll, ready to go. I do love to cook, and I have no problem with the eating that you're going to tell me to do. So bring it on.
Okay, good. Fortunately for those that don't like to cook, I'm merging with a meal prep company right now because I used to have a meal prep company, and I love my meals, and I've got my girl making my meals, and she's so good at it. It's awesome, But I have a company that reached out and said they'd like to make my meals for me, and so I'm going to be marketing my meals with a fulfillment. So for people that don't like to cook at home, that'll be an option. And this is where I would say, click the link below.
Nice. There it is. Aaron, leave us with one thing. You shake a magic wand and make one thing happen in this world that everyone could benefit from. What would it be?
I would just want people to realize that your circumstances don't mold your thoughts mold your circumstances. And if they could just grab onto that, they could realize they could have any life that they want. I'm proof.
That is sweet. Hey, Kat.
Yeah.
That's power right there. I saw some hair stand up right about there on the back of your neck. That's rock solid, brother. Top shelf. Well, hey, man, I really appreciate you doing this for the War Room and myself. And I look forward to many more visits with you in the future and getting to these events and just watching you slay shit all over. Seeing you when Porous comes out, I'm going to be watching that. And when you're on the big screen here in the Hollywood, from Bollywood to Hollywood, I'm going to be watching you, man. This is some good stuff.
Thank you so much. You're awesome. I'm privileged to be on here and meet you. We will connect. We'll make shit happen. We got games to make, brother.
Oh, shit. Yeah, we do. This is going to be good. Epic. Thank you, guys. Have a great night. Get some food in you, some water, get some sleep. CBD oil. There's another big one. I think we should make some more of that. Some of the best is here in Canada, CBD and THC. We're 420.
Stuff. I believe in that stuff.
Yes. Well, we're going to have a topic about that one day. We're going to get into that. I think that would be great. Absolutely.
Okay.
Thank you so much, Tom.
Thank you. You guys have a great night. Appreciate it, Aaron. Thank you, Kat.
Stay hard, stay bogus. Gotta make them gains, son.
Yeah. Perfect. Peace out, guys. Have a good night. Bye.
Olay.